What's up, Spice Rack? Welcome to Spice's Diary, where every bite feeds the soul and every story heals the heart. Let's pick up where we left off, shall we?
So I have been praying and praying and praying. You've heard me for the last how many
Just
videos
ugly
just
crying,
boo-hooing,
too.
sobbing because I was not going to be a mom.
And then when God put it in my face and said, girl, what do you want your life to look like? What is it that you've been working on for these last few months, especially the last couple years since your husband's come home? You keep saying that you want to have a baby, but what have you really set up that makes your life look like you really do want to have a baby? Not only that, you are surrounded by babies and their mothers, and they do a wonderful job taking care of them. But while you're watching them taking care of them, you have no interest of doing any of that. I'm not trying to wipe nobody's nose. I don't want to hear nobody call me mom when I'm trying to take a nap. I like to be able to go out and spend the day on whatever I'm doing and come home and know that nobody else is depending on me. Everybody in my house is self-sufficient except that dog, and I can put that food in his bowl and he can eat it at his own will. I like not having to be responsible for somebody else at the end of my day. And I think that's because I have been completely responsible for somebody for 22 years.
Because prison ain't no
And
joke.
now it's my turn. So while I think babies are beautiful, and I think that what mothers do is the most amazing job and also the hardest job, watching it in action was very clear to me that this was not a job I actually wanted to do.
And I have no idea when
I
that
did not
happened.
want to do that full time. But full-time motherhood just did not appeal to me in so many areas. And also, you guys, my husband had just come home. So I wanted to spend time learning life with him. We wanted to explore. We wanted to travel
With our friends at the
we
time.
wanted to just make plans, not have to worry about anything specifically. And so kids would have been a blessing, of course, but that would have really put a damper on the fun that we were trying to have and the experiences that we were trying to have.
And we were
And at this time, it just outweighed all of those other things. Now, did I come to that realization that I didn't want kids right away? Absolutely not. It took some time. Let me tell you how. Once I knew that kids were probably going to be something that we couldn't do, I all of a sudden started to feel really inadequate. Like I told you, I was battling with the shame. I was feeling like, girl, this is what you are supposed to do on this planet. And the fact that you can't do it, what is wrong
Shut
with
that
you?
devil down, girl.
And I had to really
Ain't
shush
nothing
those
wrong with
thoughts
you.
because the devil was working real heavy at making me feel just worthless. And also like not that I didn't feel like I was doing enough with my time. So while I was asking for these slow mornings and to be able to have this leisure time, I had such immense guilt because everybody around me was so exhausted. All of my friends were moms and they were having to be up at
Amazing moms at that.
3 o'clock in the morning with these kids and they're breastfeeding and they're doing all these things. It just sounded like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. But the fact that they were doing it, I felt some guilt and I felt a little shame about it because I was enjoying that I wasn't doing it. And I felt bad that they were looking so tired all the time. That it was showing how hard it was for them. Not saying they were doing a bad job, but it just looked like it was very hard on them. And I was grateful that I didn't have to deal with that. And part of me felt guilty. So it was like, well, okay, so they're so busy, then I need to get myself busy. And that's exactly what I did, you guys. In 1 year, I attempted to start 3 businesses. First, me and my husband started a podcast. Then I started a social media management business just because my brother asked me to manage his social medias. And I all of a sudden thought, oh, well, that means I need to turn this into a business and do it for everybody. And then I decided to open a cake business. So I just jumped into this. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself. I have all this time because I don't have kids. I should fill it to the brim. That was a mistake. And I was very unsuccessful. Well, I don't want to say completely unsuccessful because from every one of those ventures, I learned a lot and I did have some level of success, but those weren't really what I wanted to do. I did want to do the podcast. Absolutely. Me and my husband wanted to do that and share our story. That was a passion. So I really wanted to do that. And I loved helping my brother with his business and do his social medias
because I really enjoy making content, you guys.
And through COVID, I decided I wanted to teach myself how to make cakes. And so I did that as well. And then I was like, oh, Well, now that people are asking me for these services, then maybe I need to just turn these into businesses. And I don't know how to do anything half-assed. I don't know how to just think about a thought and then just like ponder and play with it. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And I did it, y'all. I went all in. I was working myself crazy. The freedom I was trying to give myself from not having kids, I stuffed it full with all of these other dreams or passions or whims or whatever. Like I said, all of them I learned from. All of them I know are going to help me in my next phase that I'm going into now. But they were so unnecessary the way that I jumped in. Like, I don't know how to do a little bit. I do it crazy. And so I was almost addicted to it. And I was so putting my heart and soul into it. Every second I'm researching SEO optimization and hashtags and trying to set up systems for my social media business. And I'm taking I took an accelerator class so that I could learn the ins and outs, all while being like, people are starting to ask me for my cakes because I started off just making those for fun and just making them for friends and family. And then when people are starting to place orders that aren't friends and family, oh, well, I need to start that a business too. Instead of just saying, wow, I might be kind of good at this. That's a great hobby. Maybe I could just make some side money doing it.
You don't have to make it your whole
But
life, girl.
because of me feeling less than and feeling like I was not doing my part or pulling my weight because I was not able to have babies, I didn't know how to adjust that. I didn't know how to adjust that feeling and just go with the flow and doing my own thing and like just going with that. But I will say it took some bumping my head, but I went in full speed. And to this day, I'm so grateful that I did because I met some amazing people, but I also lost some amazing people. Well, people I thought were amazing. Just as I learned one lesson, God would roll me right into the next.